The rain came down in sheets, blurring the world beyond the windshield of Alex Thompson's old Subaru. It was the kind of Seattle downpour that made the city feel like it was underwater, the kind that turned the streets into rivers and the sky into a heavy gray curtain. Alex gripped the steering wheel, his knuckles pale, as he navigated the winding roads of Capitol Hill. The wipers slapped back and forth, struggling to keep up with the deluge. He was on his way home from a parent-teacher conference at Mia School, his mind still tangled in Ms. Larson's careful words about his 9-year-old daughter's recent quietness. "She's bright, Mr. Thompson," the teacher had said, her voice gentle but firm, "but she's been withdrawing. Maybe it's the anniversary of your wife's passing." Alex had nodded, swallowing the lump in his throat, but the words had followed him out into the rain, heavy as the storm itself. He took the familiar turn onto 15th Avenue, the streetlights casting fleeting glows through the water-streaked windows. His colonial-style house, a fixer-upper he and Emily had bought a decade ago, was only a few miles away. It was too big for just him and Mia now, but selling it felt like letting go of the last piece of his late wife. Emily's laughter still echoed in the creaky floorboards, her touch in the faded blue curtains she'd sewn herself. Alex shook his head, trying to focus on the road. That's when he saw her. She was a vision so out of place, it felt like a mirage. A woman in a white wedding dress, standing on the shoulder of the road, her bare feet sinking into the muddy gravel. The gown was extravagant, its lace and beadwork glinting in the beam of his headlights, but it was ruined at the hem, torn and streaked with mud. She held a pair of silver heels in one hand, dangling like forgotten props, her dark hair to her face by the rain. She walked with a strange determination, as if she could outrun the storm or something else entirely. Alex's first instinct was to keep driving. He'd learned the hard way that getting involved in other people's messes rarely ended well. 3 years ago, he'd stopped to help a stranded motorist, only to spend hours dealing with a scam artist who tried to claim insurance fraud. But something about this woman made him hesitate. Maybe it was the way her shoulders hunched, not just against the cold, but as if she were carrying a weight too heavy for one person. Maybe it was the way she didn't look back, didn't flinch, at the cars speeding past, splashing her with water. She wasn't asking for help, but she looked like she needed it. He slowed the car, rolling down the passenger window. Rain sprayed into the car, soaking the seat. "Hey!" he called out, his voice barely cutting through the storm. "You okay? Need a ride?" The woman stopped, turning to face him. Even in the dim light, Alex could see she was striking high. Cheekbones, full lips, and eyes that held a storm of their own. Her makeup was smudged, mascara trailing down her cheeks like black tears. But there was a defiance in her posture that made her seem untouchable despite the chaos. She studied him for a moment, as if weighing whether he was a threat or a lifeline. "I'm fine," she said, her voice clear and polished, with a hint of an accent that suggested East Coast privilege, maybe Boston or New York. "Just walking? In a wedding dress." "In this rain?" Alex raised an eyebrow, keeping his tone light. "On 15th Avenue, at 9 o'clock at night." A faint smile tugged at her lips, there and gone like a flicker of lightning. "When you say it like that, it does sound a bit absurd." Alex shifted the car into park, leaning closer to the open window. The rain was relentless, and he could see her shivering, the thin fabric of her dress clinging to her skin. "Look, no offense, but you're going to catch pneumonia out there. I'm not here to pry or judge, just offering a dry car and a ride to wherever you're going." She glanced back down the road, her expression tightening as if she expected someone to appear out of the rain. Her dress, probably worth more than his car, was soaked through, the intricate beadwork sparkling like wet diamonds. She hugged her arms around herself, the heels still dangling from her fingers. I don't actually have anywhere to go," she admitted, her voice softer now, almost lost in the rain. Alex reached across and opened the passenger door. "Then let's figure it out together." "No pressure." She hesitated, her eyes searching his face. Then, with a small nod, she stepped forward, gathering the voluminous skirt of her dress as she slid into the passenger seat. The car smelled of wet fabric and expensive perfume, a strange mix that made the moment feel even more surreal. She pulled the seatbelt across her chest, the motion awkward against the bulk of the gown. Alex closed the window and turned up the heater, the hum of warm air filling the silence. "I'm Alex," he said, easing the car back onto the road. "Alex Thompson." "Lena," she replied after a pause, her voice cautious. "And thank you." They drove in silence for a few miles. The only sounds the rhythmic swish of the wipers and the soft patter of rain against the roof. Alex stole glances at her profile, trying to piece together the puzzle of this woman. The dress wasn't something you'd find in a thrift store or a last-minute rental. It was custom, probably hand-stitched by someone who charged by the bead. Her posture, even now, was graceful, like someone trained to carry herself with poise, but there was a crack in that polish, a rawness in the way she clutched the heels, her knuckles white. "Are you cold?" he asked, noticing her slight shiver. "Little," she admitted. He reached into the back seat, grabbing a faded green blanket Mia had left there after a camping trip. It was soft but worn, with a pattern of cartoon whales that his daughter loved. "Here. It's not fancy, but it's warm." Lena took the blanket with a small smile, draping it over her shoulders. The contrast was almost comical. The opulent wedding dress, the delicate lace, wrapped in a child's blanket with grinning whales. She caught his glance and let out a soft laugh, the first real sound of warmth he'd heard from her. "I must look ridiculous," she said, tucking a wet strand of hair behind her ear. "You look like someone who's had a hell of a night," Alex said honestly. "And that's okay. We've all been there." She turned to look at him, her eyes narrowing slightly, as if trying to read him. "You sound like you mean that." "I do," he said, keeping his eyes on the road. "Life's got a way of throwing curveball." They reached the edge of Capitol Hill, where the trendy cafes and boutique shops gave way to quieter residential streets. Alex's house was just a few blocks away, a two-story colonial with peeling paint and a porch that sagged slightly on one side. Emily had loved its character, as she called it, though Alex suspected she just liked the challenge of fixing it up. He realized he'd been driving without a clear destination, reluctant to end this strange encounter. "Where do you want me to take you?" he asked, glancing at her. Lena was quiet for a long moment, her fingers tracing the edge of the blanket. "I don't know," she said finally. "My apartment? I gave it up when I moved in with." She gestured vaguely at her dress, the motion heavy with meaning. "And my family, Essie in San Francisco. They're the reason I'm in this mess." Alex made a split-second decision, one that surprised even himself. "I've got a guest room," he said. "It's nothing fancy, but it's dry and warm. You can crash there tonight. Figure out your next move in the morning." Her eyes widened. "You don't know me. I could be anyone." "You could," he agreed. "But you're not. You're someone who's lost right now, and I've been there. I know what it feels like." She studied him again, her gaze intense, as if searching for a catch. Then she nodded. "Okay? Just for tonight?" As they pulled into his driveway, Alex felt a flicker of nervousness. He hadn't brought anyone home since Emily died 2 years ago. The house was still a shrine to her in so many ways, the books she loved on the shelves, the quilt she'd made draped over the couch. But something about Lena's quiet desperation had bypassed his usual walls. The porch light glowed through the rain, a beacon of warmth against the storm. Mia was at a sleepover with her friend Sophie, a small mercy that meant he wouldn't have to explain a stranger in a wedding dress to his daughter tonight. "Welcome to my not-so-humble abode," Alex said, unlocking the front door. Lena stepped inside, her bare feet leaving wet prints on the hardwood floor. The living room was cozy but cluttered, with Mia's drawings pinned to a corkboard and a stack of unopened mail on the coffee table. It was the kind of home that felt lived in, not staged, a stark contrast to the polished world Lena seemed to come from. "This is nice," she said, her voice genuine as she took in the room. "It feels like a home." "My wife Emily, she picked most of it," Alex said, then caught himself. "My late wife, I'm sorry,"
Lena said softly, her eyes meeting his. "That must be hard."
"Thanks," he said, rubbing the back of his neck. "You want coffee? I was going to make some anyway." "Sure," she said, settling onto the couch, still wrapped in the whale blanket, her dress pooled around her, the muddy hem stark against the clean floor. In the kitchen, Alex busied himself with the coffee maker, the familiar routine grounding him. He didn't know what he was doing, inviting a stranger into his home, but something about Lena felt safe in a way he couldn't explain. Maybe it was the way she carried her pain, not hiding it, but not wielding it either. When he returned with 2 mugs, she was standing by the corkboard, studying Mia's drawings, bright, chaotic sketches of animals and trees. "She's talented," Lena said, her voice warm. "Your daughter?"
Yeah.
"She's 9. Loves art. Anima." The next morning, Alex woke to the sound of clattering in the kitchen. For a disorienting second, he thought it was Emily, humming as she made breakfast on a lazy Saturday. But reality crashed back to the empty side of the bed, the quiet house. Then he remembered Lena. Rubbing his eyes, he pulled on a sweatshirt and headed downstairs. The rain had eased to a drizzle, gray light filtering through the window's dot in the kitchen. Lena was at the stove, wearing Emily's old clothes, which fit her surprisingly well. Her hair was tied back, and she moved with a focused grace, flipping something in a pan. The smell of spices filled the air, warm and inviting, a mix of cumin and garlic that made his stomach rumble. Mia was perched on a stool at the island, watching with wide eyes, her sleep-tousled hair sticking up in all directions. "Dad," Mia exclaimed when she saw him. "Sophie's mom dropped me off early because of the rain, and there's a lady making breakfast. It smells amazing!" Alex caught Lena's eye, and she smiled, a bit shyly. "I hope you don't mind.
I woke
Up early and thought I'd make myself useful. It's a family recipe my abuela taught me when I was little." "Not at all," Alex said, pouring himself coffee. "Smells great. I'm Alex, by the way," he added to Mia with a wink. "This is Lena. She's a friend who needed a place to stay last night." Mia studied Lena curiously. "Are you Dad's girlfriend?" Alex nearly choked on his coffee. "Mia," Lena laughed, crouching down to Mia's level. "No, sweetie, I'm just someone your dad helped out. He's a good guy like that." "He is," Mia said matter-of-factly. "He helped me build a fort last week when I was sad about Mom." Alex felt a pang in his chest. Mia hadn't mentioned Emily so casually in months. Lena's eyes softened. "Your mom sounds special. What was her favorite breakfast?" "Pancakes with blueberries," Mia said, her face lighting up. "But Dad burns them." "Maybe we can teach him," Lena suggested, plating the chilaquil's crispy tortillas, tossed in salsa, topped with eggs and cheese. They sat at the table, the meal a colorful contrast to the dreary day outside. Mia dug in eagerly, declaring, "It's the best ever." Alex had to agree. It was flavorful, a taste of something new in their routine of cereal and toast after breakfast. While Mia colored at the table, Alex and Lena cleaned up. "You didn't have to do that," he said quietly. "But thank you. Mia's been quiet lately. This is good for her." "She's sweet," Lena said, drawing a pan. "Reminds me of myself at that age, curious,
but holding back."
Alex nodded. "She's been like that since Emily passed. Leukemia. It hit fast. One day she was planning our summer trip. The next, gone." "I'm so sorry," Lena said, her voice gentle. "That must be devastating." "It is," he admitted. "I quit my full-time job in software engineering to freelance from home, be there for Mia. But some days, I feel like I'm failing." "You're not," Lena said firmly. "She looks at you like you hung the moon." They fell into an easy rhythm, talking about lighter things, Mia's school project on recycled art, how Lena had grown up helping in her grandmother's kitchen in San Francisco's Mission District, learning to make tamales and "My family's old money now," she said, a hint of bitterness creeping in. "But Abuela kept us grounded. After she died, it all changed expectations, appearances. Marcus fit right into that world." Alex wanted to ask more, but Mia interrupted, holding up a drawing of a rainbow. "Look, it's for you, Lena. Because you made yummy food." Lena's eyes misted. "It's beautiful. Thank you." As the morning wore on, Alex had a client call. He couldn't skip a remote meeting about a coding project. "I'll be in my office," he told Lena. "Make yourself at home. Mia's got schoolwork, but if you need anything, we'll be fine." Lena assured him. Maybe I can help with that art project, Mia mentioned. When Alex emerged 2 hours later, he found them in the living room, surrounded by cans, cardboard, bottle caps. Mia was gluing pieces together, creating a sculpture of a city skyline, while Lena sketched ideas on paper. What's all this? Alex asked, amused. Mia's project, Lena explained. It's about turning trash into treasure. We're making an I used to do stuff like this in college art therapy minor. Helps process things. Mia beamed. Lena says it's like how people can start over. Like recycling feelings. Alex raised an eyebrow at Lena, who shrugged. It's true. Art helped me when I felt lost. That afternoon, the rain stopped, leaving Seattle's air fresh and crisp. They took the project outside to the small backyard, where a neglected patch of garden sat under overcast skies. Mia ran around collecting leaves, while Lena and Alex sat on the porch steps. Tell me more about Marcus, Alex said gently. If you want. Lena sighed, twisting a bottle cap in her hands. He's a tech billionaire apps AI, all that. We met at a gala, my parents dragged me too. He was charming, swept me off my feet, but it was all surf. He wanted a wife who looked good on his arm, hosted parties, didn't question his world. My parents loved its security, status. I gave up my job in nonprofit marketing to prepare for marriage. Stupid, right? Not stupid, Alex said. Just human? We all make choices we regret. What about you? She asked. Besides work and Mia, what do you do for you? He chuckled. Not much lately. Used to hike Rainier trails with Emily. Now, it's mostly surviving. Maybe you should start again, Lena suggested. For Mia? Show her it's okay to keep going. Their conversation was interrupted by Mia's excited shout. Look! A bird's nest in the tree. As evening fell, they ordered pizza. Lena insisted on adding Galapagos for a kick and worked on the project under the kitchen. Lights? Mia chattered about school, her shyness melting away. Alex watched Lena listen intently, asking questions that made Mia glow. It was like a spark had ignited in his daughter. Later, after Mia was in bed, Alex and Lena sat on the couch with tea. You're good with her, he said. She makes it easy, Lena replied. Reminds me why I loved my old job helping kids express themselves. Why'd you quit? Alex asked. Marcus said it was beneath me, and my parents agree. They cut off my trust fund access unless I grew up. Now, without him, I'm broke. No apartment, no plan. You can stay here, Alex offered. Until you figure it out. No string. She looked at him, vulnerable. Why help me? Because kindness matters, he said simply. Emily always said that, and honestly, you're helping us too. The next day brought tension. Alex was in his office when he noticed a black sedan parked across the street, the driver watching the house. Uneasy, he mentioned it to Lena. Her face paled. Marcus, he has people. Private investigators. He won't let go easily. Sure enough, that afternoon, a man in a suit knocked on the door. I'm looking for Lena Ramirez, he said, flashing a card. On behalf of Mr. Vanderbilt. Alex blocked the doorway. She doesn't want to be found, the man smirked. Tell her it's in her best interest to call him. Don't disappear. After he left, Lena paced the living room. He's right. I signed things prenup joint accounts. I'm tangled in his web. We'll untangle it, Alex said. One step at a time. Mia, sensing the mood, hugged Lena. Don't go. We need you for the project. Lena knelt, hugging back. Won't. Not yet. That night, as rain returned, tapping the windows, Alex and Lena talked late. She shared more about her family's pressure-the-cold dinners where success was measured in dollars, not dreams. Alex opened up about Emily's last days, the guilt of not doing enough. You did everything, Lena said. Love isn't about perfection. In the quiet, a bond formed. Fragile, but real. But the sedan's presence lingered, a shadow over their budding peace. The days blurred into a tentative rhythm, the Seattle drizzle a constant companion that somehow felt less oppressive with Lena around. Alex found himself looking forward to the evenings, when the three of them would gather in the kitchen or living room, the house alive with laughter and the scents of Lena's cooking. Mia's art project had evolved into a full-blown obsession. The eco-city now sprawled across the coffee table, a miniature metropolis of recycled wonders. Lena guided Mia with patient expertise, turning soda cans into skyscrapers and egg cartons into parks. "See how this bottle cap can be a fountain?" Lena said one afternoon, her hands deft as she glued pieces together. Mia nodded eagerly, her small fingers mimicking the motion. Alex watched from the doorway, a warmth spreading in his chest that he hadn't felt in years. It wasn't just gratitude, it was something deeper, a quiet pull toward this woman who'd crashed into his life like the storm that brought her. "You two are quite the team," he said, joining them. "Lena's the boss," Mia declared. "She knows everything about making stuff pretty." "Not everything!" Lena laughed, but her eyes met Alex, holding a spark that made his pulse quicken. As the week progressed, they ventured outside more. Seattle's perpetual mist didn't deter them. Instead, it became part of their routine. One Saturday, they tackled the backyard garden, a tangled mess of weeds and forgotten planters that Emily had once tended with love. Alex had avoided it since her death, the overgrown beds a painful reminder of what was lost. But with Lena's encouragement, they donned raincoats and boots, turning it into a family project. "Rain's good for the soil," Lena said, kneeling in the mud, her jeans already soaked. "It washes away the old, makes room for new growth." Mia splashed in puddles nearby, collecting worms for compost helpers, while Alex and Lena worked side by side, pulling weeds and turning earth. Their hands brushed, occasionally sending small jolts through him. "What should we plant?" Alex asked, wiping rain from his face. "Herbs, maybe," Lena suggested. "Basil, cilantro things I can use in cooking. And flowers for Mia. Something colorful to brighten the gray days." As they worked, conversation flowed easily. Lena shared stories of her abuela's garden in the Mission District, how it was a haven amid the city's bustle. She grew chiles and tomatoes, even in pots, on the fire escape. "Taught me that beauty can thrive anywhere, if you nurture it." Alex nodded, thinking of Emily's love for wildflowers. Emily used to say gardens are like life, messy, but worth the effort. They paused as Mia ran over, holding a muddy handful of earth. "Look, I found a seed. Can we plant it?" "Of course," Lena said, helping Mia press it into the soil. The moment felt symbolic, a seed of hope in their shared ground. That evening, after a hot shower and a meal of Lena's enchiladas, they attended a community event at the local library, a workshop on sustainable art, tying into Mia's project. The room buzzed with families, tables laden with Mia dove in, chatting with other kids, her usual reserve melting away. Alex and Lena sat nearby, watching. "She's blooming," Alex said softly. "Thanks to you." "It's not just me," Lena replied. "It's us. This, ... whatever this is." He turned to her, the words hanging between them. "Lena, Before he could continue, his phone buzzed. It was an unknown number, but the area code was San Francisco. Lena's face tightened when he showed her. "My parents," she whispered. "They must have found me." The call went to voicemail, but soon after, a text arrived. "Elena, we know where you are. We're coming to talk sense into you." "Tomorrow." Alex squeezed her hand. "You don't have to see them." "I do," she said, resolute. "I need to face this." The next day dawned clearer than usual, a rare Seattle sun peeking through clouds. Alex worked from home, keeping an eye on the street. Around noon, a sleek Mercedes pulled up, and out stepped a couple in tailored clothes. Lena's parents, Mr. and Mrs. Ramirez. Her father, tall and stern, carried an air of authority. Her mother, elegant but anxious, clutched a designer purse like a shield. Lena met them at the door, Alex by her side, for support. Mia hovered in the hallway, curious but wary. "Elena," her mother said, voice trembling. "What is this nonsense? Running away like a child." "Come inside," Lena said calmly, leading them to the living room. The Eco City project sat prominently, a stark contrast to their polished demeanor. Her father wasted no time. "You've humiliated us." Marcus is furious, rightfully so. "He's offering to take you back. No questions asked. Think of your future, your security." "I am thinking of my future," Lena replied, her voice steady. "One where I'm not a trophy wife." "I was suffocating, Dad. You pushed me into it for the family name." Her mother interjected. "We only want what's best. Marcus provides stability. This," she gestured at the house, "the project. This is beneath you." Alex bristled but stayed silent, letting Lena lead. "It's real," Lena said. "For the first time, I feel like myself. Cooking, creating, helping me, it's what I love." Mia, her father, glanced at the girl, who stepped forward boldly. "Lena's my friend," Mia said. "Chin up. She makes Dad smile again, and she helps me with art. Don't make her leave. She's happy here." The room fell silent. Lena's eyes welled up, touched by Mia's defense. Her parents exchanged looks, surprised by the child's fierceness. "She's right," Alex said finally. "Lena's not alone. She's building something here." Her father sighed. "Elena, your trust fund, it's frozen until you marry appropriately. Without it, how will you live?" "I'll work," Lena said defiantly. "I have skills. Marketing, art. I'll find a job." Her mother reached out. "Please, come home. We can fix this." "No," Lena said, standing taller. "This is my home now, if Alex and Mia will have me." After tense minutes, her parents left, promising to think about it but warning of consequences. The door closed, and Lena sagged against it, exhausted. "You were amazing," Alex said, pulling her into a hug. Mia joined, wrapping arms around them. Both. That night, after Mia was asleep, Alex and Lena sat on the porch, the city lights twinkling below Capitol Hill. The air was cool, carrying the scent of damp earth from their garden. "I meant what I said," Lena whispered, "about staying." Alex turned to her, heart pounding. "I want that too. More than anything. These past days, you've brought light back into our lives." She leaned in, their foreheads touching. "I love you, Alex. You and Mia, you've shown me what real love is." "I love you too," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "But it's scary. For both of us." "It is," she agreed. "But we're stronger together. We'll face Marcus and Maya family whatever comes." They kissed then, soft and tentative, a promise under the stars. The future was uncertain, but in that moment, it felt right. As the week ended, Lena applied for a job at a local nonprofit focused on community arts, her resume highlighting her forgotten passions. Alex supported her, their bond deepening through small acts, shared glances, late-night talks. The shadow of Marcus lingered, but they were ready to fight for their new beginning. Spring in Seattle arrived with a tentative flourish, cherry blossoms dusting Capitol Hill like pink snow against the city's ever-present gray. Lena had been with Alex and Mia for nearly 3 months, and their colonial home had become a haven. Its creaky floors and faded curtains, now woven with new memories. The backyard garden, once a tangle of weeds and grief, sprouted with promise basil and cilantro unfurling delicate leaves, marigolds and zinnias, adding bursts of color. Lena's job at a local nonprofit, coordinating art therapy for mental health outreach, anchored her in a way she hadn't felt in years. The work, though modest, was hers alone, earned through grit and passion, not her family's wealth or Marcus's influence. Her first weeks on the job were a mix of nerves and exhilaration. She led workshops for children navigating loss, divorce, or family upheaval, guiding them to express their emotions through recycled art, much like Mia's Eco-Cities project. "It's not about perfection," she'd tell them, her voice warm but resolute. "It's about letting out what's inside, even if it's messy or raw." The kids responded to her empathy, their small hands crafting sculptures from bottle caps and cardboard that told stories of pain and hope. Lena felt a quiet pride, knowing she was helping them find their voices, just as she was rediscovering hers after years of silencing herself for others. At home, life settled into a rhythm that felt both fresh and timeless. Mia had bloomed in Lena's presence, her once guarded demeanor giving way to chatter, giggles, and a newfound boldness. She'd dropped the tentative Aunt Lena for simply Lena, said with the easy affection of family. Evenings were filled with shared rituals, cooking, storytelling, and laughter. Lena taught Mia her abuela's recipes. Tamales wrapped with care, salsas blended with a perfect balance of heat and temps. Alex, who'd once relied on takeout and cereal, joined in his attempts at mole sauce, improving with each try. "You're almost there," Lena teased one night, tasting his latest batch. "Less char, more depth." Mia, perched at the kitchen island, grinned. "Dad's cooking was a total disaster before you. Lena, you're like a kitchen superhero." Alex tossed a dish towel at her, feigning offense. "Watch it, kiddo. I'm a work in progress, just like this sauce." The house hummed with life again, dishes clattering. Mia's stories about school, the soft strum of Alex's old guitar when he played for them on quiet nights. The living room, once a shrine to Emily's memory, now held new traces of their evolving family. Mia's latest drawings pinned to the corkboard, Lena's sketchbook of garden plans on the coffee table. But shadows from Lena's past lingered. Marcus Vanderbilt hadn't let go. After her parents' tense visit, his private investigators had backed off. But his emails and calls, persistent offers to resolve things, laced with reminders of her financial entanglements. One evening, as they sat on the porch watching, Mia chased fireflies in the garden. Lena's phone buzzed with Marcus's number. She sighed, her shoulders tightening. "I need to deal with this," she said, stepping inside. Alex followed, staying close but giving her space to lead Elena. Marcus's voice was smooth, controlled, but sharp with irritation. "This rebellion of yours has gone on long enough. Your parents told me about your little escapade in Seattle. Come back now. We'll call it a pre-wedding retreat. Spin it for the press. I'm willing to overlook the drama you've caused. There's no drama to overlook," Lena said, her voice steady despite the knot in her chest. "I'm not coming back, Marcus. I'm happy here, building a life that's mine, not yours." He laughed, cold and dismissive. "Happy? With some widowed coder and his kid in a crumbling house. You're delusional, Elena. You have nothing without me, no money, no status. Your trust funds locked until you marry, and your parents won't budge. You'll be broke, begging in weeks." "I have a job," she countered, her jaw tight. "I'm using my degree, my skills marketing, art therapy. I'm free of your world, Marcus, and it feels good." "You're throwing away everything," he snapped, his tone hardening. "I'll make sure you regret this lawsuits, if necessary. You signed contracts, prenups, joint accounts. You're tied to me, Elena, whether you like it or not." Alex stepped closer, his presence a quiet anchor. Lena took a deep breath, steadying herself. "Threaten all you want. I'm done being your accessory, your perfect fiancé. I choose me. Goodbye, Marcus." She hung up, her hands trembling but her heart resolute. Alex pulled her into a hug, his arms warm and grounding. "You were incredible," he said softly. "You're stronger than he'll ever understand." Tears slipped down her cheeks, but they were cleansing, not defeated. "What if he's right?" she whispered. "What if I'm dragging you and Mia into my mess? I have nothing, no savings, no safety net." "You're not," Alex said firmly, tilting her chin to meet his eyes. "You're lifting us up." "Mia's herself again because of you, smiling, creating, talking about Emily, without babe and me. I haven't felt this alive since Emily." "You're not a burden, Lena. You're family." Mia's voice broke the moment, calling from the garden. "Lena, come see the first." Marigold opened. "It's so orange." They stepped outside, finding Mia kneeling by a bright bloom, its petals vivid against the green. It felt like a symbol, a small victory over the storm that had brought Lena here. That night, after Mia was tucked in with the story about magical gardens and brave seeds, Alex and Lena sat in the kitchen. The dishwashers hum a soft backdrop to their conversation. "I want to make this permanent," Alex said, taking her hand. His voice was low, earnest, his eyes searching hers. "I know it's fast, and you're still finding your way, But marry me, Lena. When you're ready, let's build this family together, for real. Her heart swelled, fear and hope colliding in a rush. Yes, she whispered, her voice breaking with emotion. But on our terms, no. Grand weddings, no pressure. Just us, simple and real. He smiled, pulling her close, his lips brushing her forehead. Deal. Just us, Mia, and this crazy, beautiful garden. They planned a small backyard ceremony for late spring, when the garden would be in full bloom. Mia was ecstatic, sketching invitations with flowers and butterflies, insisting on being the flower girl. We'll have 2 moms, she said one afternoon, her voice thoughtful as she drew. One in heaven, watching us, and you here, Lena. Alex's throat tightened, his eyes misting. Emily would love that, kiddo. She'd love you both. Lena's parents, after weeks of strained silence, began to soften. Marcus's threats had shaken them, forcing a reckoning with their own role in pushing Lena toward a life she didn't want. During a visit to Seattle, her mother hugged her tightly, tears in her eyes. We were wrong, she said. We thought wealth was security, the only path to happiness. But seeing you here, with Alex and Mia, we're proud of you. Her father, more reserved, nodded in agreement, and they unfroze part of Lena's trust fund as a gesture of reconciliation. Lena accepted it but insisted on relying on her salary, determined to stand on her own. As summer loomed, the garden thrived, herbs scenting the air, flowers drawing butterflies and bees in a delicate dance. Lena's work at the nonprofit expanded. She launched a program for single parents coping with grief, inspired by Alex's journey and her own. Mental health isn't a luxury, she'd say in workshops, her voice passionate and clear. It's a necessity. Listening to your heart, asking for help, choosing your own path. That's strength, not weakness. One evening, as they worked in the garden under a rare, clear sky, Mia presented a new drawing, their family standing amid vibrant blooms, with Emily as a smiling sun overhead, casting light on their home. It's us growing, Mia said, her eyes bright with pride. Lena hugged her tightly, her voice thick. It's perfect, Mia. Absolutely perfect. The wedding was intimate, held under a canopy of blossoms in their backyard. Friends and neighbors gathered, the air filled with laughter, the scent of lavender, and the soft hum of a local guitarist. Lena wore a simple sundress, her hair loose and natural. Alex wore a linen shirt, his smile radiant. Mia scattered petals with glee, her joy infectious. Their vows were heartfelt, spoken from the soul, promises to nurture each other's growth, to honor past and present, to choose love over fear every day. As they danced barefoot on the grass, Alex whispered against Lena's hair, "Welcome home, forever." Life settled into a beautiful, imperfect rhythm. Lena thrived at work, advocating for mental health resources and teaching others to find healing through creativity. She organized community events, bringing families together to create art from recycled materials, fostering connection and resilience. Alex returned to hiking, leading Mia and Lena on trails through Mount Rainier, rebuilding joy one step at a time. They faced challenges, financial strains as Lena rebuilt her independence. Mia's occasional grief for Emily Marcus's final legal threats, which fizzled when Lena's lawyer proved the contracts Together, they navigated each hurdle, their bond deepening through shared vulnerability and strength. The lesson woven through their story was profound and enduring. A single act of kindness can spark a chain of transformation. Alex's decision to stop that rainy night didn't just save Lena from a storm. It healed his family, showing Mia it was okay to love again, and helping Alex rediscover hope. Lena's courage to run from a life that wasn't hers taught her to reclaim her voice, inspiring others to do the same through her work. Their journey underscored the power of listening to one's inner truth, seeking mental health support, and choosing authenticity over societal expectations. True happiness, they learned, blooms from deliberate choices, not imposed paths. By helping others heal through a kind gesture, a listening ear, or a shared creative moment, we heal ourselves, creating ripples of positive change in a world often clouded by storms. This lesson wasn't just theirs. It was a call to action for anyone listening. Pause to help, even when it's inconvenient. Listen to your heart, even when it's terrifying. Seek support when the weight feels too heavy, whether through therapy, community, or trusted loved ones. These small, intentional acts can rewrite lives, turning ordinary moments into extraordinary beginnings. Lena, Alex, and Mia's story showed that compassion and courage are seeds that, when planted, grow into gardens of hope. Their family, like their backyard, flourished, not because it was perfect, but because it was tended with love and choice. If this story resonates, carry its message forward. Be the person who stops to help, who listens without judgment, who dares to choose differently. Support mental health yours and others, and watch how your own garden grows, vibrant and alive, no matter the weather.